beautiful little man.
Skip it up and down.
Playing with fire here. Precious little boy. Your baby and wife. Patrick Mobid. Never seen that before. Get back here, boy. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day. I'm driving on the old highway right now with this little bean. Some woman dropped off this adorable little bean for me today. And our baby squirrel doesn't even have his eyes open yet. I do not feel comfortable taking care of pinkies personally, and I was actually told in my training to not take pinkies. Now, having said that, my friend Amanda, who works at All Things Wild, is amazing at taking care of the little pinky squirrel. I'm driving 50 minutes right now just to make sure that he can get to her as soon as possible. And it gives me an excuse to go down there and farm some XP with raptors while I'm down there. Also, if you guys think my property's looking a little dry, take a look at this. So right off the bat, when I got there, they were taking care of this little blue jay and cleaning the wounds of this deer that got brought in that was hit by a car. This poor boy was all sorts of roughed up, but after giving him some fluids, he healed up pretty quickly. And they also got a little bobcat in while I was gone. This is a young bobcat. He's still old enough to where he could hurt me really bad if I put my hand in there. This is a baby little blue heron that got brought in. We'll be getting a bunch of these guys eventually, so I got some good experience with feeding him and setting the brooder up. There's a little half-blind taquache that I helped clean the enclosure for. And this is the last duck they have left that should be going back to the wild pretty soon. This is the restricted mobility fawn enclosure. This is where all the fawns get bottle raised. And because this is a nursery, all these little guys are really friendly and they come right up to us. Now, I've told you guys before that wildlife, while it's being rehabbed, isn't supposed to be loved or coddled, except for whenever they're babies. Whenever they're being bottle raised, they need love from their mother. 90% of these boys were hit by vehicles.
He was inside though, I remember him.
And this is the little baby that I thought for sure was going to get euthanized that actually pulled through and made a complete recovery. And now we're moving him into the pre-release enclosure in the back. So this is their pre-release enclosure. It's important that they have these visual barriers with the picket fence so they don't run into it and get caught in the chain link. And this was not a tasty watermelon. I'm gonna make you pay for what you did to them capybaras. Get back here, boy. But from here, the deer will have minimal contact with humans until they're ready to go back to the wild, so they'll stay wild. This is a little pelican that was an educational ambassador that had to have one of his wings amputated. And because he's an educational ambassador, we can goof around with him, play with him, do whatever we want. Kobe! Wow. We took the bobcat out while they were cleaning his enclosure, so we got to get a better look at him, and he had a lot of scars on his face when they first brought him in. Sure wouldn't mind filming a catch and cook. After that, we put some Illuma Shield, which is a wound sealant, on the little wounds for this little deer. And then we brought him back to the restricted mobility enclosure so he can heal. Nasty. Blue jay moment, dove moment. And this is one of the little jelly beans that was in a bag in the last couple videos I posted.
Oh, sweet wompo hibby.
I also got some more songbird XP. And I got to play with the educational ambassador skunk and crow. We also fed these baby raccoons that'll probably get transferred to our place pre-release. This is what that little bean from the beginning of the video will look like after a lot of tender love and care. Cringe, River the raccoon. One of the reasons why I don't take pinkies is because it's so easy to aspirate them, but this little device here actually helps with that. And here's a nice little brooder setup for whistling ducks, which people always bring me in Waco. I also got to help with tube feeding an armadillo. This little fella was badly injured and couldn't eat on his own. And this precious little fella's recovering from an injury that happened to his leg. Well, hey, what's going on with my leg? Tube feeding is one of my least favorite things to do, so I'm glad I got some more XP with that. Possum moment. Sadly, after looking at this little fella's x-ray, it showed that he had some pretty bad spinal damage. And more than likely, because of that, this little guy's gonna have to be euthanized. Sad moments like that are what our educational ambassadors are for. Well. Ian here is training this wingless red-tail hawk. Aries here could not return to the wild and he can't fly, but he does have a pretty nice enclosure for a flightless bird, and he gets to be used in all kinds of educational programs for kids. Very neat. Goodbye, little friends. And right when we were about to leave, another squirrel got dropped off, and I got some more practice with tube feeding for this little fella. Tube feeding is essentially just putting a plastic syringe all the way down into the stomach. We do this when the little babies are new or sick or just having trouble suckling on a rubber teat. This guy I could keep as a pet if I wanted to. Look at his whole exposed. I've never seen that before. That's so interesting. All right, everybody. I have to go to a church thing now, but I came with a baby squirrel, and I left with 2 turtles. And I can either release these turtles if they're ready, or I can keep them at my facility or have them in my pond as a pre-release area. And I think that little injured boy would make a phenomenal little educational ambassador if we had him under their permit. Oh, nothing like a 7 a.m. wake-up call from the lumber company. Wouldn't you agree, Big Ounce? This old man slept in here last night with me. Now, I didn't know at the time, but every one of these was the wrong length. All right, everybody, here's your cringe update for now. Boy, have we been getting a lot done here. Big Ounce has been putting all this flooring down in the house by himself. All these cabinets are in now. And now Big Ounce just needs to make the tile and put the countertops on all by himself because I'm not doing that. But look at this, you guys. So I've said this in the videos before, but I love making things that have multiple different uses. For example, this huge 50-foot flight pen here could be 3 different flight pens. And with all this fencing on the bottom, it could house tons of different types of animals.
Hey, maybe even I could live there. I'm not dead.
In the same way, this beautiful boy that has turkeys in it right now is gonna have a roof on the top, and we're gonna have a little pond in the corner here. So that way we can rehab marsh birds or other kind of aquatic birds here. Or we could simply cut a hole in this storage container and use this to farm gators. And we could have at least 3 6-foot gators in a little pool in here and then herd them into here in the winter whenever we need to. We could also even have a small electric panel in here, you guys, and run some heat sources directly in here. And we could have plenty of animals in here, honestly, in the winter. And of course, I'll do a better job of insulating it, and we'll fence in the roof as well. Good morning, Remington, the baby and wife. And of course, Garbanzo Bingus. Good morning. Garbanzo Beans has been settling in really well to this new place. I moved our other goat to the front of the property because my buddy's picking him up today. Look at this beautiful, precious duck. She's settling in super well here with all of the other animals. As you can see, we are in the middle of the worst drought that we've ever had here in Texas, I think in a long time. Old Uncle Ben said the same thing last year. But these barley bales are working, and this thing's actually starting to get a little less green. But old Uncle Ben finally figured out how to use the sprinkler system. Now everything's gonna start to be green again here. And last night I saw Poggers and Queen jumping on the trampoline when the sprinklers were on. Top 10 precious urban rescue ranch moments. I'm gonna be cleaning and dumping out the cappy water, so I'm gonna let these guys free range today. Come on, children, come on. I don't know if you guys can see this very well, but every little blade of grass back here is a little wet from the sprinklers. So hopefully this whole place will be beautiful in just a few days. Sure is nice to see this in the middle of a horrible drought. I think I'm gonna put some extra sprinklers in this little back area here because all of this isn't getting hit and it's starting to die. The Petunia's in this whole back area by herself over here. And we'll be getting her a little girlfriend very soon. We've had a cringe algae bloom up here, but the minnows seem to not mind. And there's tons of breeder minnows up here that have little eggs and babies that fall down the waterfall for the big fish. So it's a perfect little ecosystem of big boys having little babies that fall down here to feed the bigger boys. And now for the most part, I actually can see to the bottom to see my fish. And to those of you real Urban Rescue Ranch lore experts, we caught all of these fish in videos for you guys to see in the old videos. Look at that beautiful gar. But like I said, Garbanzo Beans and all the other animals are very happy now that the sprinklers are working again. And all of our gar are friends now, and they like to swim in a little procession here. Can't forget to feed my child. And as soon as the final shipment of the poles comes in, we'll be able to start working on this bad boy. That'll be our eagle and osprey enclosure for the back here. Like I said, it's gonna be pretty heavy duty, so that thing could be for a lot of other animals as well. And after I feed all these guys, Garbanzo Beans gets to just walk around and pick up all the little spots that I dropped. She is very, very happy here. And so is this precious little boy. Now I don't really even have to spend intentional time with Kumala to keep him friendly. He's just a friendly little boy for forever now. Look at that skin, you guys. Isn't that weird? Look at these beautiful, weird, cringe animals. I love him. And the last chore I'll do for today is just take this and move it over back into the Rhea area. Good morning, Kevin. How are you today, sir? Oh, you look so handsome. Look at this beautiful boy, you guys. Look at this beautiful little man. Hello, sir. You're not thinking about attacking? You wouldn't consider biting the hand that feeds you, would you, Kevin? But now that their little feed thing is right here, I no longer have to keep dumping their food on the ground. But okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna let the cappies trim the grass out here and graze. Look at all these pigeons coming back in to roost. They sure do love these trees. Look at this little baby fence post lizard. You can see the foxes are hungry, so I'm gonna go ahead and feed them. These guys have been getting a lot better at hunting, and they're afraid of everyone else except for me. Also, look at Cringe Master Oogway. He got stuck in here. Cringe Master Oogway got stuck in here and pooped a few times. Look, guys, he scraped his shell a little bit. Why this man getting into places he's not supposed to? Patrick Mobed. Boop, 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 boop. Good morning, my precious son. Oh. Okay, guys, we're gonna continue a little bit of target practice with this boy. I'm trying to teach this man how to eat. Oh, there you move.
I'm gonna clean this out and put fresh foliage in next time.
Here's your weekly Gustavo update. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get the little bits of grass out from his mouth. Hello. Playing with fire here. Take a look at this beautiful creature, you guys. He's finally becoming a little man. And when he gets a little bit bigger, during the whole summer, we'll be able to keep him out here in this enclosure. But I love these things. This was just a random little guy that we had the privilege to rescue, but he ended up being way prettier than any kind of alligator I've ever seen. No, Patrick, don't eat that. Those are nasty.
Don't eat those, those are nasty.
Okay, let's try this again. Here you go. Come on. There you go, buddy. Delicious. Okay, here comes the second one. Boop. There we go. Oh, look at this cringe. Oh, boy. Patrick moment. Also, look how nice his little scars are now. They've healed up almost completely. And look at his precious little horns. Oh. That's it. Love you guys. Appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh, almost forgot to tell ya. Whoopoo! Oh, he yahooed himself to sleep. Woohoo! Taquache, huh? Also, someone found this taquache in their pool. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But thanks so much for watching my video. I love you. I appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next video. Oh, almost forgot to tell you.
How about you like the video for that?
He finally did it.